Let's do this. Oh? Let's do this. Oh? About the enemy. Oh? And fight. Take your time. There's no need to rush yet. And fight. Excellent. Let's do this. You might want to pick up the pace about now. You're nearly out. The relief of knowing you may yet outrun the encroaching lava is immense. And short-lived, as monsters burst forth from the lava, blocking your escape. And fight. Fortune favors the bold. You race out of the volcano, the monsters scarcely having hit the ground behind you. After your narrow escape from the volcano, you mull over what you learned at the summit. The truth about the dragon and the medicine, what the Ivory Order and Sherwin are actually after. And Vince's dying warning about Dragon Tear destroying the world. You decide to return to the village of the sick to try and make sense of everything. I'm exhausted, says Riddis. She certainly looks it. Bruno is silent and looks deep in thought. As you head into the village after your friends, another headache splits your skull. This place. Something about it is triggering a memory that feels like it's trying to claw its way out of your brain. Let's rest up at the inn, suggests Melanie, taking in everyone's state. It appears he dropped the medicine bottles he was holding during the eruption's ensuing earthquake. He kneels down, bringing his face close to the ground, and laps up the muddy medicine. He crouches by the roadside, then lies completely still. His breathing slows to a stop, hands still clasping the medicine bottle. This island is doomed, she says, knowing of the eruption. Her face exudes happiness, as if she has been freed. It appears she has no knowledge of the eruption and earthquake. The ground just doesn't want to stay still lately. At dinner time, you and your friends gather around the table. For a while, it's quiet, but then Melanie speaks up. Now that the dragon's been defeated, she says, what are we going to do? I want to learn a little more about this island, you say. Bruno agrees with you. They call this place Mount Medica. Something tells me there are still secrets to uncover. In truth, the Ivory Order wanted to capture the dragon alive, but Sherwin killed him. You can't help feeling the Ivory Order is still hiding something about this island, the dragon and the medicine. Whether you go after the Ivory Order or investigate the island, first and foremost, you need information. The Overseer should be pretty knowledgeable about the island, reasons Melanie. You decide to pay a visit to the Overseer after a good night's rest. Selfor, the village headman come overseer, comes out to welcome you. After detailing what happened atop the volcano, you ask him to tell you everything he knows about this island. So, the dragon's tears are the medicine's main ingredient, he muses. You ask Selfor if the medicine is made on this island. After a moment, he begins speaking in a quiet voice. He tells you about the medicine factory here on the island that the Ivory Order oversees, and that this village was founded in order to provide a steady supply of human test subjects for their new medicine. Now that you know the truth about the island and the village, you turn to Selfor and pose further questions. Probing further, you ask, and the Ivory Order forced the dragon to make medicine at that factory? I'm almost positive they did, he replies. That explains why the Order wanted to capture him, says Bruno, understanding dawning on his face. But if that's the case, why did Sherwin flout the Order and kill the dragon? You're still missing the final piece of this puzzle. What do you mean, testing new medicine, you ask? Selfor explains that before the Ivory Order sends any of its medicines out to the greater world, they test them here first. With all the new medicines they're constantly prescribed, the villagers here suffer strange side effects. All except Selfor, who says he's exempt from the tests on account of being in charge of the village on the Order's behalf. Sometimes we get people who try to escape, he says, his gaze dropping. The Order always catches them. This is horrible, says Melanie, a harrowed look on her face. You know the abandoned house at the western edge of the village? Well, once upon a time, a family of 4 lived there. As Selfor speaks, you feel all the blood drain from your body. There's something I'd like to see for myself at that house, you say, your brow creased. At the uncharacteristically somber look on your face, Melanie, Riddis, and Bruno give silent nods. We should head for the abandoned house. You stand before the dilapidated house. It looks like no one's lived here for a long, long time. You open the door and go inside, your gaze roving across the dusty space. Your eyes land on a progression of horizontal notches on the lower section of a support beam, markings to measure a child's growth. And carved into the beam beside the markings are your and Mar's names. Seeing your names unleashes a flood of memories you hadn't realized you'd kept locked away. trauma of what happened, combined with the effects of the medicine, spurred the loss of your memories. But now you remember the horror in full detail. Sobbing, you gather Mar in your arms. Melanie, Riddis, and Bruno just stand there in silence, absorbing the truth of your origins. Melanie, who knows all too well the pain of losing your parents, turns to you with tears on her cheeks. We have a lot in common, you and I. That's how we've made it this far together, she says softly. Moved by her kindness, you give her a silent nod. But I've still got farther to go, you say, scrubbing your face dry. As painful as those memories are, something the Ivory Order disciples said gave you hope. If you can get your hands on an undiluted solution of dragon tear, you can restore Mar to her human form. And what was that about the place they called the mausoleum? That's probably a good enough place as any to start looking for dragon tear. Melanie doesn't miss the determination that blooms on your face. Whatever it is you need to do, she says, I'm with you. You ask Silfor if he's ever heard of a place called the Mausoleum. He tells you the steep cliffs north of the village block the way. To get to the Mausoleum, you'll have to go around. He advises you to first go east and then head north from the wharf. The wharf, that's where we first docked, right? Clarifies Bruno. Ooh, the path to the Mausoleum is a long one. If you start feeling weary on your journey, use the jump feature to return to the village. A giant boulder impedes the path. You stop, unable to go any farther. But when you turn around, who do you see but the Ivory Order trio? In a flash, you draw your weapons, but Hedwyn calls out, "Wait." Unlike the other times you've crossed paths, the trio doesn't seem keen on fighting you. You lower your weapons in response. Conveniently, you've got some questions for them anyway. You demand to know what the Ivory Order wants. There's no reason to hide it any longer, begins Hedwyn. He tells you of the immense fortune the Order amassed by selling the medicine they forced the dragon to make on this island. And he confirms recapturing the dragon was the Order's true goal. The dragon's imprisonment on this island was a secret only the upper echelons of the Order were privy to. Even Queen Nilla didn't know. You ask where Sherwin disappeared to after he killed the dragon atop the volcano. We too seek Sherwin, says Winifred. Atop the volcano, Sherwin swore to destroy that place. Edwin says he was talking about the mausoleum. Winifred ponders the question of why Sherwin would betray the Order and kill the dragon. Alas, we cannot get to the mausoleum with this in our way, Edwin says, gesturing to the giant boulder. Upon closer examination of the boulder, you see fissures spidering along its surface. Perhaps it was weakened by the earthquake caused by the volcano erupting. With the right approach, you might be able to force your way through after all. You think of asking Mar to break through the boulder, but you stop short, worrying she could hurt her precious hand. You ask Bruno to put his brawn to use and smash the boulder to smithereens. He squares off in front of the giant stone and strikes the fissure with a mighty knife-edged chop. Silence rings for a moment before the boulder crumbles to dust. The Ivory Order trio offers a curt thanks before hurrying on ahead. The jerks. Take pity on the creature and administer some curative. Able to move once more, it makes a clumsy attempt at a bow, and then it is gone. Watch out, your friends cry, as something comes hurtling straight at your face. You keep your cool. Your friends gasp as you catch whatever it is before it clobbers you. spot a sign standing prominently on the cape. This sign reads, "Strike the Stela somewhere on this island." Oh yeah? What will happen if you do? You did great. You come across two men sitting on a rock. You listen in. Stashed the goods away. That island's shaped like a... right in the dragon's nostril. It sounds like they've the dragon's nostril? You cock your head in disbelief, but just manage to maintain your concentration. Your perseverance pays off. You come to learn that the island itself is shaped not unlike the dragon's head. You hastily grab a scrap of paper, write down what you've heard, and quietly sneak away. Let's do this. You and your friends are lucky enough to make it through without being struck by lightning once. A monster appears. Do you want to say something? It's standing around and fidgeting. It points to you and then goes stiff, acting as though paralyzed. Aha! This must be the creature whose paralysis you cured with some curative. It hands you a bottle of medicine, takes a sweeping, graceful bow to show you how far it's come, and takes its leave. Excellent. That was lucky.